Thank you guys for the clothes and everything. I appreciate it for the shoes, and I'm thankful for everything I got.
Hello everyone, my name is Candace Miller and I've been a guardian ad litem for 16 years now. I've handled many cases, all ages and all backgrounds, and as such I couldn't begin in 30 seconds to tell you all the support I've received, my children have received from the Children's Guardian Fund. Everything from ballet lessons, sports camps, tutoring, clothing, and even a little puppy. That puppy was purchased for a lovely, talented 15-year-old girl who had been through a lot in her life and had gone from foster home to foster home. So you can imagine what comfort this dog gave her. And one day I had taken her out to lunch, and when I got home I saw that there was an envelope on the passenger seat of my car. And I'd like to read to you some of that letter. Dear Candace, I want to say thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for being my guardian ad litem and putting up with all the stress that comes with it. You are an amazing guardian. You've fought for me, and not just for what you want, and I appreciate that a lot. And she goes on to say a lot of nice things about me. I'd love to read that 30 seconds. She goes on, I'm glad you're part of my life. You are one of the people I strive to be like when I get older. And then she ends with, even though you're still going to be my guardian ad litem, I wanted you to know that you are one of the few who have shown me what hope is. You add purpose to my life. It's because of what you do and the person you are that gives me encouragement to keep going every day. That's what this is all about, and that's why we are here today. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Joy Holloway, and I have been a guardian ad litem for a number of years here in the 12th Judicial, and I have advocated in that time for a number of children, but this afternoon I want to share a particular story with you about how the Children's Guardian Fund so blessed one of my children in particular. My little 4-year-old, she's now 4, but when she was 3 years old, my little one came into care, and she was born substance exposed as a child, as a baby, and drugs brought her into care, and she lost her mother, her grandmother, and the man she called Daddy, all in the course of 1 month. And in addition to all of that horrific trauma, she experienced her mother's drug withdrawal, not withdrawal, but she overdosed. Her mother overdosed in her presence, and we suspect that she was with her for quite a while after that. And it was just a horrific experience for this little one, as you can imagine. And because she was born substance exposed, she already had a pre-existing speech development delay. And the trauma from that experience further exacerbated that. And it was, as you can imagine, just a terrible thing for her. All of the grief and the sorrow and the sadness on top of that was really, really traumatic for her. And while she was getting all the care that she needed and all the therapies, we thought it would be, the Guardian ad litem team thought it would be a great idea if her summer experience, her camp experience, was a little different one particular season, one particular year. So we approached the Guardian ad litem, the Children's Guardian Fund, and they provided funding for this little one, this precious little one, to have this most wonderful professional who came into her life and helped her not only with her speech, but helped her learn to trust more and how to play in more healthy ways. And out of that came a longer-term relationship with the family, and it was just a wonderful thing. I'm reminded so often that it takes a village. It truly takes a village. And these children are mine, and these children are yours, and these children are ours. And it does take a village. So I ask you to consider supporting the Children's Guardian Fund, so all of our little ones in care can have all the things that they need. And in that consideration, I'm going to ask you to please give generously to, because it takes a village, doesn't it? It takes a village. Thank you.
Katie, her father, and her caretakers are very appreciative of your support. Katie has benefited tremendously from the tutoring, especially in reading. When Katie first came into care last year, she was reading at the kindergarten level. She's now going into the 4th grade, and she's reading at the 2nd grade plus level. The tutoring has also helped with her speech. Katie was inaudible and unable to be understood most of the time. She's now learned to speak louder and more distinctly, and this has made an impact on Katie being able to make friends. I know that Katie hasn't always been the easiest child to tutor. For some reason, she just does not like to read. Thank you, Children's Guardian Fund, for making a difference in a child's life.
Thank you for the clothes. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I've been a guardian ad litem for 8 years. The Children's Guardian Fund has provided so many things to children in need, from birthday gift cards, bicycles, funding for sports, tutoring, clothing, bunk beds. I could go on and on. One of the more memorable funding moments for me was when I took one of my girls to shop for her 5th grade graduation outfit. She picked out a fancy blue dress, white shoes, and costume jewelry. It made her feel really special when she crossed the stage. Another example is a young boy. He was in 5th grade and he was struggling in school. The Children's Guardian Fund provided tutoring for an entire year, and its grades improved. It gave him so much pride. The school clothing fund that has been provided to these kids is such a wonderful gift. Case after case, the kids love to get new clothes for school, and they are extremely grateful. That's my experience with Children's Guardian Fund.
The trauma caused by years of abuse and neglect had left Hunter without the self-discipline necessary to succeed at school. He failed to turn in assignments and overreacted to teachers' reprimands, and so, although possessing a sharp intelligence, he had to repeat grade 8. He was placed in a pre-adoptive home with his 2 younger siblings, but he argued, he lost his temper, and one evening ran away from the home. He took refuge in a nearby Wawa gas station. Fortunately, one of his classmates, there with her father, noticed that Hunter was visibly upset. The father invited Hunter to their home and called the Child Protection Services to let them know he was safe. Hunter felt welcomed in this new family, who asked a family court judge that he'd be allowed to remain with them. They are now in the process of adopting Hunter. During the pandemic, the father supported Hunter with his online schooling. Hunter has now passed grade 8 with grades of all A's and B's and just 1 C. This qualified him for a Children's Guardian Fund Academic Award, a celebration of his first ever academic success.
Hi, Children's Guardian Fund. This is Sherry Sirkin. I've been a guardian ad litem for 7 years, and you guys are the best. The children I've represented have loved their birthday gifts. One girl I represented, you helped with all of the things she needed to move into her first apartment. You've helped with clothing and school supplies and holiday gifts. The list is endless. I just wanted to tell you how much you're appreciated. Thanks again. Take care. Happy holidays.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Dunbar, and I'm a guardian ad litem for Manatee County. When I became a guardian, I learned to rely heavily on the Children's Guardian Fund to help me advocate and get the best things that I could for my kids. Some of the things I received are bicycles, helmets, tutoring, birthday gift cards, academic awards. I've even gotten camps and a camp for a state level athlete where he could work out with pro athletes, as well as homecoming tickets. So many things. And the list goes on and on. One of my boys, a real tough cookie, he's in high school, and on the day he received his academic award and his birthday gift card, he told me, "This is the best day ever." It just warms my heart. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you, donors, for doing this. It means so much to the kids, and they know it comes from you. They know it comes through the Children's Guardian Fund, and they know there's very generous people out there in the community. Thank you so much.
How does a foster kid compete without technology? Our goal is to find enough used laptops to ultimately see our foster youth soar as they achieve alongside their more fortunate fellow students. Many years ago, the Children's Guardian Fund affiliated with a local group, Sarasota Technology Users Group, to help provide computers to area foster youth. Skilled volunteers rebuild and prepare used laptops and computers donated by your neighbors. We need your help. Call or email and we will arrange for a pickup of your old equipment. My name is Mark Scharf and I'm an advisory board member of the Children's Guardian Fund.
Hi, my name's Seth. I've been in placement for more than 2 years. I've had 3 homes I've been in. I've had 6 case managers and 1 guardian ad litem. I've had so much stuff from them, thankfully, and I can't remember all of them, but here's some. So I've had a bunch of birthday cards, thankfully, a laptop, academic awards, tutors, 8th grade graduation help, and last but not least, one of my favorite is gymnastics class. It was so fun. Thank you guys so much.
Hello, my name is Michaela Ford. I am a guardian ad litem in DeSoto County. At this time, I'm serving a family of 5 children who were placed with their grandmother last September. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much to the Children's Guardian Fund for everything you guys do for the kids in our circuit, as well as specifically for this family. Thank you so much for the bed and bedding that you purchased for the little girl once she was put into care, as well as the Christmas help, and you also sent all 5 kids to a camp for an entire week. We just wanted to say thank you again.
The Children's Guardian Fund provided a scholarship for one of the young lads for whom I was an advocate, a 13-year-old boy, to attend flag football during the summer. His parents, who were having fairly serious domestic difficulties, would attend to watch him, and during the course of those weekend sessions began to communicate more constructively, resolve their marital difficulties, leading to the court being able to reunite him with his family. A great outcome.
Hello, my name is Ophelia Uribe, and I'm a guardian ad litem. I want to thank you personally for supporting the Guardian Fund. Thanks to your contributions, my child Stevenson, a child originally from Haiti who had no formal education in Haiti and came to the U.S. without speaking English, was able to receive this tutoring and go from having very bad grades to A's and B's. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Latko Jancic, and I am a guardian ad litem in Sarasota County. The Children's Guardian Fund has helped me with purchasing football cleats for a child in my care. His name is Dior, and Dior was extremely excited when he got his new cleats, allowing him to pursue his passion in sports. So thank you, Children's Guardian Fund. Keep up the great work.
Thank you guys for the clothes and everything. I appreciate it for the shoes, and I'm thankful for everything I got.
Hello, everyone. My name is Candace Miller, and I've been a guardian ad litem for 16 years now. I've handled many cases, all ages and all backgrounds, and as such, I couldn't begin in 30 seconds to tell you all the support I've received, my children have received from the Children's Guardian Fund. Everything from ballet lessons, sports camps, tutoring, clothing, and even a little puppy. That puppy was purchased for a lovely, talented 15-year-old girl who had been through a lot in her life and had gone from foster home to foster home. So you can imagine what comfort this dog gave her. And one day I had taken her out to lunch, and when I got home, I saw that there was an envelope on the passenger seat of my car. And I'd like to read to you some of that letter. Dear Candace, I want to say thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for being my guardian ad litem and putting up with all the stress that comes with it. You're an amazing guardian. You've fought for me, and not just for what you want, and I appreciate that a lot. And she goes on to say a lot of nice things about me. So I'd love to read that 30 seconds. She goes on, I'm glad you're part of my life. You are one of the people I strive to be like when I get older. And then she ends with, even though you're still going to be my guardian ad litem, I wanted you to know that you are one of the few who have shown me what hope is. You add purpose to my life. It's because of what you do and the person you are that gives me encouragement to keep going every day. That's what this is all about, and that's why we are here today. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Joy Holloway, and I have been a guardian ad litem for a number of years here in the 12th Judicial, and I have advocated in that time for a number of children. But this afternoon, I want to share a particular story with you about how the Children's Guardian Fund blessed, so blessed, one of my children in particular. My little 4-year-old, she's now 4, but when she was 3 years old, my little one came into care, and she was born substance exposed as a child, as a baby, and drugs brought her into care, and she lost her mother, her grandmother, and the man she called daddy, all in the course of 1 month. And in addition to all of that horrific trauma, she experienced her mother's drug withdrawal, not withdrawal, but she overdosed. Her mother overdosed in her presence, and we suspect that she was with her for quite a while after that. And it was just a horrific experience for this little one, as you can imagine. And because she was born substance exposed, she already had a pre-existing speech development delay. And the trauma from that experience further exacerbated that. And it was, as you can imagine, just a terrible thing for her. All of the grief and the sorrow and the sadness on top of that was really, really traumatic for her. And while she was getting all the care that she needed, and all the therapies, we thought it would be, the Guardian ad litem team thought it would be a great idea if her summer experience, her camp experience, was a little different one particular season, one particular year. So we approached the Guardian ad litem, the Children's Guardian Fund, and they provided funding for this little one, this precious little one, to have this most wonderful professional who came into her life and helped her not only with her speech, but helped her learn to trust more and how to play in more healthy ways. And out of that came a longer term relationship with the family. And it was just a wonderful thing. I'm reminded so often that it takes a village. It truly takes a village. And these children are mine. And these children are yours, and these children are ours, and it does take a village. So I ask you to consider supporting the Children's Guardian Fund, so all of our little ones in care can have all the things that they need. And in that consideration, I'm going to ask you to please give generously too, because it takes a village, doesn't it? It takes a village. Thank you.
Katie, her father, and her caretakers are very appreciative of your support. Katie has benefited tremendously from the tutoring, especially in reading. When Katie first came into care last year, she was reading at the kindergarten level. She's now going into the 4th grade, and she's reading at the 2nd grade plus level. The tutoring has also helped with her speech. Katie was inaudible and unable to be understood most of the time. She's now learned to speak louder and more distinctly, and this has made an impact on Katie being able to make friends. I know that Katie hasn't always been the easiest child to tutor. For some reason, she just does not like to read. Thank you, Children's Guardian Fund, for making a difference in a child's life.
Thank you for the clothes. I appreciate it.
Hi, My name is Karen, and I've been a guardian ad litem for 8 years. The Children's Guardian Fund has provided so many things to children in need, from birthday gift cards, bicycles, funding for sports, tutoring, clothing, bunk beds. I could go on and on. One of the more memorable funding moments for me was when I took one of my girls to shop for her 5th grade graduation outfit. She picked out a fancy blue dress, white shoes, and costume jewelry. It made her feel really special when she crossed the stage. Another example is a young boy. He was in 5th grade and he was struggling in school. The Children's Guardian Fund provided tutoring for an entire year and its grades improved. It gave him so much pride. The school clothing fund that has been provided to these kids is such a wonderful gift. Case after case, the kids love to get new clothes for school and they are extremely grateful. That's my experience at Children's Guardian Fund.
The trauma caused by years of abuse and neglect had left Hunter without the self-discipline necessary to succeed at school. He failed to turn in assignments and overreacted to teachers' reprimands, and so, although possessing a sharp intelligence, he had to repeat grade 8. He was placed in a pre-adoptive home with his 2 younger siblings, but he argued, he lost his temper, and one evening ran away from the home. He took refuge in a nearby Wawa gas station. Fortunately, one of his classmates, there with her father, noticed that Hunter was visibly upset. The father invited Hunter to their home and called the Child Protection Services to let them know he was safe. Hunter felt welcomed in this new family, who asked a family court judge that he'd be allowed to remain with them. They are now in the process of adopting Hunter. During the pandemic, the father supported Hunter with his online schooling. Hunter has now passed grade 8 with grades of all A's and B's and just 1 C. This qualified him for a Children's Guardian Fund Academic Award, a celebration of his first ever academic success.
Hi, Children's Guardian Fund. This is Sherry Sirkin. I've been a guardian ad litem for 7 years, and you guys are the best. The children I've represented have loved their birthday gifts. One girl I represented, you helped with all of the things she needed to move into her first apartment. You've helped with clothing and school supplies and holiday gifts. The list is endless. I just wanted to tell you how much you're appreciated. Thanks again. Take care. Happy holidays.
Good afternoon. I'm Svetlana Kaminsky, Executive Director for the Children's Guardian Fund, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our 22nd annual fall event. Wendy Cox and I will be hosting you this afternoon.
Thank you all for joining us at our first virtual luncheon. While you are settling in and arranging your lunches, Svetlana is going to give you an overview of today's program. And you also should have received a program in the mail before the luncheon today. Svetlana?
Today, you are going to be getting an update from our local Guardian Ad Litem program leadership about what is happening in the lives of kids in foster care. You'll be hearing from a young woman about her journey through the foster care system. You will be learning about how our tutoring program is helping kids not fall behind in school. And finally, we will be giving away 5 door prizes throughout the program, so be sure to stay with us to the very end to find out if you're one of the 5 lucky winners. Before we get started, a few housekeeping notes. On the right-hand side or just down below the player, you should see a chat box where you can leave your comments and see what other guests are saying. The password is 2020.
Now, at any time during our program today, you can make a donation to support the Children's Guardian Fund. We're going to tell you in more detail later how to do that, but for those of you that have to just donate and dash, you can use your laptop or your iPad or your iPhone and go to our website and make a donation that way. Later on, we're going to give you information on how you can respond to a text and make a donation, or you can use your paper response card that you got in the mail. Any of those is a great way to make a donation to support the Children's Guardian Fund. Now we're going to stick around and listen to the program and hear how your donations last year made a huge impact in the lives of these kids in our community.
Let's take a couple of minutes to recognize and thank some people who've been so important to our organization. First, I want to thank our virtual table hosts, our platinum, gold, silver, and bronze sponsors. Their names are listed in the program insert and on the event page down below.
For those of you listed on the program, please stand and give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for your generosity. Your financial support is making a real difference in the lives of local children who have lost the support of their families.
I also want to recognize our board of directors and our advisory board members. We have a very talented and dedicated group of volunteers overseeing our mission and making sure that local children receive the help they need. Thank you for your service. And we could not do the work that we do without the support of our community partners. Thank you to the Gloucester Schoenbaum Human Services for providing us with office space and a community of collaborative neighbors. Every year, we try to make the event content fresh and interesting for the people who attend. This year, our planning committee had a lot of fun coming up with ways to keep you entertained. Please join me in thanking Wendy Cox, our luncheon chairperson, and the rest of her fabulous team, John Bradbury, Marlis Carter, Carla Jones-Wilson, Debbie Turner, and Barry Wells. Later in the program, you'll hear a few more thank yous to people who are working hard on behalf of local children in foster and state care. And don't forget, we've got 5 door prizes that we'll be giving away during the next hour. And now, a word from our board president, Jeremy Carter.
There are currently 1,197 children in the foster care system in our community. These children have been removed from their homes due to neglect, abuse, and abandonment. These are the children that we support, and we have been doing so for the past 25 years. We know their stories, we know their struggles, and these children live here in our community, Sarasota, Manatee, and DeSoto counties. Our support has been especially important during this COVID pandemic. For example, this summer when most camps and children's activities were cancelled, we were there to provide online activities and academic tutoring, and when they returned to school this fall, we supported them by making sure they had proper clothing. The Children's Guardian Fund was founded in November 1995, and for the past 25 years we have provided funding to meet the emergency needs and to enable normalcy and enrichment in the lives of children in foster and state care in Florida's 12th Judicial Circuit. The 12th Circuit covers Sarasota, Manatee, and DeSoto counties. We also promote public awareness and community support for the children's needs. And finally, believing that every child removed from their home needs a voice, we provide funding to support the recruitment, training, and retention of Guardian Ad Litem program volunteers. There are currently 386 active Guardian Ad Litem volunteers. Many of you, but probably not all, will be familiar with the Guardian Ad Litem program. The Guardian Ad Litem program is a state-run program with professional staff that relies on trained volunteers to advocate for the needs of children in care. Many of us watching this program today are volunteer Guardians Ad Litem. So, where does the Children's Guardian Fund fit in? In brief, while the state provides for the basic needs of children in care, the fund provides those things that we would expect children in traditional, stable families to have, but that children in care do not have. I became a Guardian Ad Litem in 2007. After retiring from a 35-year career as a teacher and high school principal in the UK and in international schools in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, I wanted to continue to support children. I was willing to work with teenagers, so most of my cases entailed advocating for older children. As their guardian, I had access to the fund, and I was therefore able to provide them with bicycles, laptop computers, participation in after-school programs, running shoes, football cleats, and clothing to participate in their school sports, professional academic tutoring for those students who have fallen behind or who are struggling to keep up due to the disruption in their lives, graduation costs and clothes for the school prom, and finally, household effects for older teens moving into their own apartments. In these, and in many other ways, access to the fund meant that they could enjoy and make the most of their teenage years. Since March, the need to support these children has been greater than usual, as families struggle to make ends meet due to the economic impact of the coronavirus. We serve children of all ages, from newborn to 18 and into young adulthood. While my experience as a GAL has largely involved working with volunteers, most of the children we serve are aged 12 and under. These are the children the fund provides for. The Children's Guardian Fund is managed by an all-volunteer board with just 2 employees who are dedicated to our mission. Thus, our administrative costs are kept low. We rely on local foundation grants and donations from organizations and individuals like you to operate our programs. This event helps us raise around $100,000 each year, with more than half of all donations received at our annual fall event being $100 or less. Each gift counts and helps our local children live a more normal life. And this year, we are fortunate to have received a $20,000 matching grant for every donation made at this luncheon. Svetlana and Wendy will be telling you more about this opportunity. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoy our program.
Thank you, Jeremy, for outlining our mission so clearly and for explaining how the Children's Guardian Fund is helping the 1,197 local children in foster and state care live a more normal life. And now it's time for our first door prize drawing of the day. This is a door prize. All of you who signed up to attend the luncheon by October 25th are in this drawing for a chance to win. Wendy, will you please do us the honor of picking one lucky winner for the lunch at Harry's restaurant and tennis lesson at the resort at Longboat Key Club?
I'll pick the winner. Geraldine Taylor. Geraldine Taylor, you are the winner.
Congratulations. In our next video, you will see Guardian Ad Litem volunteer and board member John Bradbury interview the 12th Circuit Director, Tony Latortu, about what is happening in the child welfare system here in our community. Please welcome John and Tony.
Hello, my name is John Bradbury and I'm on the Board of Directors of the Children's Guardian Fund. Behind me, you'll see the Sarasota County Courthouse. That is the place where the judges make decisions about foster children, those children who are brought into the system because of neglect and abuse. Their lives, many of them, will be forever changed by the decisions that go on up there. Now we're lucky. We're going to be able to go into the Guardian Ad Litem headquarters and talk with Tony Latortu, who is the executive director for the entire 12th Circuit of the Guardian Ad Litem program. Come on. Hi, Tony. Thanks very much for setting aside the time today to discuss the program with us. There's a lot of curiosity and interest about the Guardian Ad Litem program, and if it's okay, I'd like to ask you a few questions about it. Please explain to us what the program is and how it benefits foster children.
So we are a court-appointed program when children are removed from their parents in dependency court, and we serve children from birth to 23. They do have the option to extend foster care at the age of 18 up to the age of 23, and that's pretty much what we're about.
Ooh, how many children are in the program?
Currently, we have, the program represents 1,176 children in the 12th Circuit.
Wow. And the 12th Circuit is Sarasota?
Sarasota, Manatee, and DeSoto.
How many Guardian Ad Litems are there in the program?
We currently have about 386 certified active volunteers, and that means that they are actually working a case.
Wow, that's a big disconnect with the number of children.
Yes.
How did children come to the attention of the court?
Well, whenever someone suspects abuse, they contact the abuse hotline. Normally, it would be your teachers or doctors, family members, those are still your reporters, but that's where the number of the calls usually generate from. With the pandemic and children not being as visible in the community as they were, you had a lot of neighbors or concerned people that were making calls. Now that school has resumed, you still don't have 100% of the children that are in school in person. So the numbers that we usually experience this time of year are slightly lower than previous years. But that's normally where the calls come from, family members, teachers, doctors.
So COVID has had a strong impact on you, but you're coping with it.
Yes.
Good.
Definitely.
Good. Family and Children's Services assign a caseworker, as I understand it, to each case. And they are handling the family and any of the children that come out of that family. Why is a guardian important too if there's already a caseworker on the program?
Well, because, so if you look at how the court is made up, this is a legal proceeding, so everyone's a party, including the child. And historically, before our program came into existence, everyone had an attorney, someone to represent them, except for the child. So we were started over 35 years ago to represent the best interests of the children only. So that is our main focus. The case manager has the task of making sure that services and case plan tasks are there for the parents and also for the children. So they have a lot of responsibility and have to, keep up with their getting in reports and that kind of stuff, where the volunteer just has to look out for the child. We do have to make recommendations for placement and services and visitation and permanency goals, but we only have to do that for the child. So that's the difference, is that the volunteer, the uniqueness of the volunteer is that we only have to focus on the child.
That's interesting. So the case manager is working the entire family.
Yes.
Trying with the goal of reunification. And the Guardian Ad Litem program works only for the child.
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Tony, can you give us an example of an actual case? I know you can't use names and so forth, or at least a typical case of how a Guardian Ad Litem could enter the situation and make it better for the child.
Oh, okay. There will be a lot of cases that I could give you examples for. Every time a child comes to the court's attention and they are sheltered, that is an opportunity to make a difference in their life. Whether it's a child that was substance exposed while the mother was pregnant, and so the child is taken immediately at birth, to if we shelter a 17-year-old that turns 18 in 6 months, there's always opportunity for the volunteers to make a difference. With an infant, for instance, a volunteer is able to make sure that the parent and the child get ample opportunity to visit and bond with each other. So you make a huge difference there, instead of just having taking a child from a parent and there not being adequate visitation, so the bonding can occur and we can achieve reunification. And with the teenager that comes from a home that we may not be able to send them back to, setting them up, making sure that they have services set up to successfully turn 18 and be out on their own, help them to make a decision about what type of secondary education they may want to have, or to set them up with employment and that type of stuff. So every case is an opportunity for a volunteer to make a difference in a child's life.
It must be very difficult for the children. They're pulled away from their parents, a situation that they know, no matter how abusive or neglectful it might be, and they're thrown into a situation where strange people are dealing with them, so a guardian can make a huge difference.
They do, yes. We have a case, and one stands out to me. I have a volunteer that has been on a child's case for 4 years, and the child has had many placements, many case managers. I'll even say, and it's not common, but a few different volunteers, Guardian Ad Litem staff. But the one person that has always been consistent is the volunteer for those 4 years, and that is the person that child looks to for comfort. And when there's a new person introduced into their lives, the volunteers are there to help them ease into that transition and to say it's okay to open up and let these new people in. So.
Oh, that's very good news, because case managers have a large turnover.
Yes.
And foster families change.
Yes.
So the children, the one constant in their life is the Guardian Ad Litem.
Yes.
That's a very positive situation. A lot of the children that we're talking about are probably lower income. how does a grandmother or an aunt who all of a sudden is responsible for this child, the child is living with them, how do they cope with that? I mean, are they getting paid all the money that they need, or is it tough on the family?
It's tough. I would say they're probably not getting paid all the money that they need, but the funding does provide additional care so that they can bring the child or children into their homes. It's hard to say if it's enough funding or not. More than likely it's not. But most of them do it because it's their family or even a friend of the family, and they care for that child. So the financial piece is not what's pushing them to provide the care, but it does assist them with that. But I'd say it's underfunded. It's an underfunded program, so.
Yes. In this day and age, that's what happens. Well, does the Children's Guardian Fund then come in and help to make up some of that difference?
Definitely.
They do?
Yes, okay. They do. And as you said, most of the families that these children come from, so in addition to maybe not having enough income, they also come from homes that have experienced trauma, whether it's been a little bit or a lot. So normal childhood experiences aren't really on the forefronts of their minds. So the Children's Guardian Fund, they afford these children to have a piece of that while they're under the care of the court. So whether you have tutoring, for instance, that's not always something that the family is even focused on. But I know for a fact, with the numbers, that the tutoring that the Children's Guardian Fund provides has made significant differences in the lives of the children, giving them confidence that they may never have had in school. People paying attention to them in areas that they need. Also, normal activities like taking karate lessons or having ballet lessons. Something simple that our children, when they were graduating, they never had to worry about, will I be able to go to prom, or can I get my cap and gown, that kind of stuff. So the Children's Guardian Fund is definitely a huge benefit to the children in our community.
So the fund really helps to provide a more normal environment for the child.
Yes.
I can remember when I got my first bike. It was a very special moment. And this must work out, too, with foster children, where the family may not be able to afford something like a bike, but the Children's Guardian Fund can come in and help.
Yes, and they do a great service with that. I know when I used to be a child advocate manager with the program, and that was one of the first programs that the Children's Guardian Fund was able to assist with, and it was awesome. I loved going and shopping for the bicycles and the helmets and the locks, and the children loved it. And you were absolutely correct, John. It was the best thing. And things that we take for granted, we had that stuff growing up in homes, but when kids come into care and you have a 10-year-old who's never had a bike, it kind of sits with you for a long time, but then the Children's Guardian Fund is able to provide that, so they make a huge impact with the children.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, Tony, thank you very much for the time we spent today. It was very, very productive, and I learned a lot, and hopefully our viewers did too.
I hope so. It was my pleasure. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Tony and John, for walking us through the different ways that volunteer child advocates are making a difference in the lives of children in our community. And thank you to all of our active Guardian Ad Litem volunteers watching this program today for your life-changing work. If you would like more information about becoming a Guardian Ad Litem volunteer, text GAL to 855-937-2209. And now it's time for our second door prize drawing. Wendy, will you please do us the honor of picking one lucky winner for the Around the Town prize?
Ooh, this is very exciting. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Around the Town is Vicky Rudanetsky. I knew it would be a name I couldn't pronounce. Vicky, you won.
Congratulations, awesome. Our next speaker is going to share a very personal perspective about what it is like to be in foster care. And today we have with us Karen Johnson, who has been a Guardian Ad Litem to both Brianna and her siblings, to introduce her to you.
The video that you're about to see is about a girl named Brianna. I met Brianna in the fall of 2013 when I became the Guardian Ad Litem of her older sister. Fortunately, 2 years later, that sister was placed with a family. When that happened, I was then assigned to be the guardian of Brianna and her other siblings for the next 3 years. During that time, Brianna and her siblings lived in a group home in Sarasota. I saw those children grow from being elementary youths to young teenagers. They had no family support, so as their guardian ad litem, I was the constant in their lives during that time. I visited the children weekly, which we all looked forward to. They depended on me to be there for them. I truly love these kids. We spent so much time together doing homework, celebrating birthdays, going to doctor appointments. I visited them at lunchtime at school, watching them participate in sporting events, taking them for ice cream, lots of things that most kids do that they would otherwise not be doing. All during that time, the Children's Guardian Fund provided endless resources for the children, including birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, computers, tutoring, dresses for school dances, fees for sports, and school clothing. They loved going school clothing shopping, and I loved taking them to do that. When Brianna was separated from her siblings, my role as her guardian ad litem came to a close, and a new guardian, Bruce, whom you will meet in the video, was assigned to Brianna. Brianna is a very smart and courageous young lady. I could not be prouder of her for everything that she has accomplished, despite the challenges that she has had to face in her life. I'm sure you will agree with me after watching her story.
This is a child who has been through the system for many years, has been bounced from one place to another. Most children probably would give up hope.
When I was 5, I was taken and put into foster care. Being with my family wasn't safe, and that's why I was in foster care. It's just terrible being in the situation that you are in, especially when I got separated from my siblings. It was really hard.
Brianna's situation, I think, is unique from my others because of the amount of time she spent from the multiple places she was in, not being able to be with her brothers and sisters.
I remember it was really hard that Thanksgiving. It was the first Thanksgiving without my family, without my parents, and knowing that my guardian ad litem was there made me feel really special. And it made it a lot easier to take the fact that I wasn't spending my Thanksgiving with my family. I was placed in a group home when I went into foster care when I was 8. So it was really hard for me when I was put back with a family, and just the dynamic and the structure, everything was a lot different. I felt like, what was the point in even trying at this point? Like, I'm just gonna give up because there's no point, there's no hope, but there really is.
A lot of these kids, they don't have a family, as many kids do, and they want to have some of the things that other kids have that they don't. And the Children's Guardian Fund supplies them, not everything, but at least recognizes their birthdays and gives them things that will make them feel semi-normal.
The Children's Guardian Fund has made a big difference in my life. It really feels like they're there for you, even when you can't be there for yourself or anybody else. You will feel like you belong, and sometimes it's really hard when you're in foster care to feel like you belong. And I asked the Guardian ad litem Fund for a computer, and I got a computer, a bike, I got one for Christmas.
Children's Guardian Fund is important to me and to all the children in the system because it provides money for material goods for them that they might not have. It's a place we turn for assistance when we find out that one of our foster kids needs something.
I was really scared when I was at the shelter. I was being bullied and I didn't feel safe. My guardian ad litem got me out of there, and I was put into another placement from there.
By some divine guidance, Becca and Ian appeared, and we knew right away that it'd be a perfect match.
I remember, oh my God, I was so happy. I was just filled with joy, and I was like, the week before that, I was just really like, okay, no one's probably looking at my photos, no one's wanting to adopt me. And then I found out that someone wanted to adopt me, and it was just crazy. Like, I was so happy. Not only did they make sure that I was adopted during a pandemic, they worked so hard to make it extra special, and I really felt extra special.
She's a shining example of what can happen.
Here in my family, I just feel like a whole nother person. I feel loved, I feel special. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my guardian ad litem. I don't think I would be here. I think I would have gave up a long time ago.
Wow, what a powerful story of hope. Thank you, Brianna and Bruce and Karen, for sharing. It is now time for our third door prize drawing. Wendy, will you please do us the honor of picking one lucky winner for the Golf for Four at Legacy Golf Club?
All right. Who's the lucky golfer? How many of our guests do you think are golfers?
A lot.
I hope this one is, or he will be. Jack Rosens.
Ooh, congratulations.
Jack, I hope you're a golfer. If not, you're going to be a golfer soon.
We wanted to dedicate an entire video to showing you how our tutoring program helps kids not fall behind in school. This program has been rapidly expanding since the start of the 2019 school year and became even more critical in March of this year when schools transitioned to online learning.
You know what surprised me most about this program is the way that it differs from your typical homework help groups. Our trauma-informed tutors are trained to empower students to become independent learners by using the latest education and neuroscience research. So when our kids work with tutors to catch up in school, they also learn test-taking strategies, memory skills, and how to think. If you think about it, people never stop learning, so having these skills will actually serve them in everything that they do in life. Check out this video about our tutoring program.
I'm Bella. I'm a 7-year-old. My favorite subject is math. I had trouble reading.
What's that?
Trey?
Yeah, exactly.
Through no fault of their own, most children in foster care and state care are behind in school due to parent neglect, trauma, and frequent moves. Over 40% of school-aged children in foster care have educational difficulties. Only about 50% of children in foster care even graduate from high school. Furthermore, less than 3% of the children raised in foster care graduate from a four-year college. In an effort to turn the corner, the Children's Guardian Fund is addressing academic challenges one child at a time through the individualized trauma-informed tutoring. The Children's Guardian Fund partners with guardian ad litem volunteers to identify children in foster care who need academic support. Guardian ad litem volunteers are authorized by the court to access school records, which makes them ideal for this role. Once a child is assigned a qualified professional tutor, the tutor meets with the child weekly.
One of the things that I've seen a lot with a lot of my students is they bounce around a lot, so they may be going from a foster home to another foster home or different placements, and what can happen is they wind up with gaps in their knowledge because they've gone from school to school. And while every school you think may be on the same schedule, they're really not. I've had several students that could complete a reading comprehension assignment but struggled with the phonics.
As a result of the tutoring program, we've seen many positive outcomes with the children, such as improved reading and writing skills, improved grades, improved confidence, better school attendance, and even a positive change in their behavior and attitudes.
You can actually make that difference. If a kid is engaged and interested in the tutoring and really engages with you, there's nothing stopping those kids from becoming perfectly competent A students. And that's what's really, really exciting about my job. What can happen is by giving them a tutor, now their academics are solid and they feel confident moving forward. A lot of times they're shy and reserved because nobody really wants to be called out for being wrong. Right? It's embarrassing. I'll often hear from the parents that they go into school and they're the first one to raise their hand. And the teachers are like, I can't get them to be quiet now. They always have the answers. It's so exciting to see that because that's really, especially in the elementary years, that's the demonstration that they're confident. They know that they know it, so they want to be the one to say, hey, look, class, I know this answer. Or, hey, I did it. I can tell you how I did it.
Beyond the academic gains, we know our trauma-informed professional tutors are impacting the children's overall well-being because the Guardian Ad Litem volunteers have shared how meaningful it is for the children to receive individualized attention from their tutor and how the tutor is a positive role model in their lives.
I've always loved working with kids and helping people, and just seeing that change is just, it's priceless.
I always get so excited about the life-changing effects that our tutoring program is having on the children that we work with. Currently, we are providing 70 students with weekly one-on-one tutoring and have 7 students on the waiting list. And did you notice the students holding their academic award certificates? To further encourage academic progress, we award students who show tremendous effort and improvement in the midst of hardship with a certificate and a small cash award. And now let's hear from our Guardian Ad Litem volunteers about what they have to say about our tutoring program.
Hi, Kristen. We, Katie, her father, and her caretakers are very appreciative of your support. Katie has benefited tremendously from the tutoring, especially in reading. When Katie first came into care last year, she was reading at the kindergarten level. She's now going into the 4th grade, and she's reading at the 2nd grade plus level. The tutoring has also helped with her speech. Katie was inaudible and unable to be understood most of the time. She's now learned to speak louder and more distinctly, and this has made an impact on Katie being able to make friends. I know that Katie hasn't always been the easiest child to tutor. For some reason, she just does not like to read. Thank you, Children's Guardian Fund, for making a difference in a child's life.
Hello, my name is Ophelia Uribe, and I'm a Guardian Ad Litem. I want to thank you personally for supporting the Guardian Fund. Thanks to your contributions, my child Stevenson, a child originally from Haiti who had no formal education in Haiti and came to the U.S. without speaking English, was able to receive this tutoring and go from having very bad grades to A's and B's. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
It is now time for our 4th door prize drawing. Wendy, will you please do us the honor of picking one lucky winner for the spa package?
Spa package. Where is the spa
mine.
package? Where are you going to have a spa treatment?
Oh, there's lots of stuff that people can do. Massage.
Well, Roxanne, you're going to have a spa day. Roxanne Permsley.
Ooh,
These
congratulations.
are all difficult names to pronounce. Roxanne, have a great time at the spa. It seems like 100 years ago when we were all together for this luncheon, over 300 of us snuggled 10 to a table. It's hard to imagine now, isn't it? Well, it does bring back some fond memories. I remember looking out into the audience and seeing you reaching for your response cards and your pens and writing on those cards and making out a check and ripping the check from the checkbook and putting it into an envelope. I love that part of the program. And while I wish we were together this year, I think it's okay that we're not. Because honestly, I have you right where I want you, in your home or your office, close to your money, all of your money. In years past, I recall seeing women entering the luncheon so stylishly dressed with their purses with the designer logo, and those purses were so tiny. I get nervous when I see women come to a fundraising luncheon with those tiny purses. How could you possibly have everything you need in such a tiny little thing when going to a fundraising luncheon? And men, I rarely see a decent sized wallet at these events, and just grabbing a 20 on your way out the door and slipping it in your pocket hardly prepares you for what I'm about to ask. But this year, I'm not worried at all about those tiny little purses and those thin wallets. Because ladies, I know you have your real purse sitting on your kitchen counter where all real purses live. And I know what's in that purse, everything you need for a fundraising luncheon. And men, I know that you have desk drawers where you stash your credit cards and your checkbooks and the occasional loose $100 bill. And at home, you all have access to your passwords for your online banking accounts and your investment accounts. And your iPhones and your iPads are just loaded with apps that are constantly zipping out money for this or that. Some of you may even have a household safe hidden behind a painting or a secret bookcase where no one would ever suspect. And don't even get me going on the sofa cushions. These babies hold a treasure trove of cash, and now most of it might be loose change, but that's money too. Speaking of loose change, you probably have a loose change jar upstairs in your bedroom closet, and we'll take that too. Just call our office and Svetlana will rush right over and pick up all your loose change jars. I'm sure she'll be happy to do that. So let's get to it. Round up your source of funds, grab that big purse, open those desk drawers, log into your bank accounts, and if you're watching this luncheon from a friend's house, just ask them for their passwords and help them to access their funds. Now when you're ready, I'm going to explain 4 ways to make a donation this year. And as Jeremy announced, we have a match, a one-to-one match for $20,000. A one-to-one match means that if you gave $100, the foundation will give $100, making your $100 $200. So if you gave $500, it would become 1,000. If you gave 1,000, it would become 2,000. If you gave 5,000, it would become 10,000. So a very special thank you to the Doris M. Carter Family Foundation for this matching grant. Thank you for that. Now, we're going to give you your 4 donation options, how to donate to the Children's Guardian Fund this year. First, you should have received a response card in the mail, so let's take a look at that. Fill it out, mail it back to us, and the good news is the post office is no longer busy. All the ballots have been mailed. In fact, I contacted the post office and they are standing by, ready for an onslaught of response cards from this luncheon. So go ahead, put that response card in the mail with confidence. Now, the second thing you can do is you can go to our website, make a donation online. Use your laptop or your smartphone or your iPad. Just go to childrensguardianfund.org and make a donation that way. And if you registered for the event, you would have received an email from us with a link, making it that much easier for you to get to the donate page on our website. And finally, you can text your donation in. All you need to do is text donate to this number, 855-937-2209. And if you have no idea what that means, I would advise you just go back to the paper response card and just do it that way. And we're a 501c3 organization, which means that your donations are tax deductible. So don't hold back. Give it all away. We don't know how much time we have left, and you can't take it with you, so you might as well give it to us today, before it's too late. Now, we rely on donations and grants to operate our programs, and this event helps us to raise over $100,000 a year. More than half of those donations are $100 or less. So every donation counts, and every donation will help to change the life of a child in foster care. Now, here to tell us more about the ways that your donations from past years have made a difference in the lives of these children is Kristen Poolman, the program director for the Children's Guardian Fund. She's joining us from our offices at the Glasser-Schoenbaum Human Services Center. Kristen?
I'm Kristen Poolman, Program Director at the Children's Guardian Fund. I have the privilege of responding to the needs of foster children in the 12th Circuit. I get to see firsthand the heartbreaking circumstances of the children we serve and the hope your generosity brings. Since November 2019, we were able to respond to 1,970 requests made on behalf of these children because of your support. Thank you on behalf of the teenage girls in a group home who had been sex trafficked, now receiving tutoring, along with an additional 177 children who received 2,561 tutoring sessions over the last 12 months. Thank you on behalf of teenager Seth, whose favorite gift from you was gymnastic lessons. Along with Seth, 159 children participated in a summer camp or after-school activities this year. Thank you on behalf of the grandmother who wrote to say, "We live paycheck to paycheck. I had no money for school clothes for the 3 children." 268 children living in relative and non-relative care started their school year in new clothes. Thank you on behalf of the children who have, amid trauma, overcome adversity and improved their grades. 106 children received academic awards. Thank you on behalf of the newborns struggling right now in the Sarasota Memorial Hospital NICU ward, born at 32 weeks, addicted to opioids. We provided a crib for him, as well as 61 other children who received a bed, bunk bed, toddler bed, or crib. Thank you on behalf of the 161 children who have received countless other essentials and emergency needs over the last 12 months. Without you, we could not do the work we do. Please pray for the 1,200 children in our circuit, including the 200 children available for adoption. Thank you for your continued generosity and support. You are making an impact in these children's lives.
That Kristen is something else, isn't she? As our program director, she responded to over 1,900 requests this past year alone. At every board meeting, she's sharing photos and stories, and we get to hear about things throughout the year, and we get to share them with you just once. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing this with us today. And now, before we do our final drawing, let me recognize a few people here in the virtual audience who have really stepped up and made a difference in the lives of kids in our community. First, the Guardian Ad Litem program staff. They work for the state of Florida. The case management staff. They also work for the state of Florida and the Safe Children Coalition. The attorneys who advocate, and judges and magistrates who preside over all the court proceedings that these children are involved with. Foster parents and caregivers, including grandparents and family members who care for these children. Guardian Ad Litem volunteers. There are 386 Guardian Ad Litem volunteers in our judicial district. Every day, these people provide help to over 1,000 kids in our foster care system. Thank you for that. And I want to acknowledge a couple of fantastic local organizations that work with kids in foster care. The All-Star Children's Foundation. They broke ground on their 5-acre campus 3 years ago, and already it's making a huge impact in our community, thanks to Grassi and Dennis McGillicuddy, who started the organization. The Child Protection Center, the Florida Center for Early Childhood, Springboard, and the generous foundations in our community. The Manatee Community Foundation, the Community Foundation of Sarasota County, Gulf Coast Community Foundation, and the Charles and Marjorie Baranchik Foundation. It takes a village, and we have one here in Sarasota and Manatee counties. And of course, our 2 staff members for the Children's Guardian Fund. You've met them already, Svetlana Kaminsky and Kristen Pullman. We just have 2 staff members, and then we rely on a team of volunteers and board members to do the work of this organization.
It is now time for our 5th door prize drawing of the day. Wendy, will you please do us the honor of picking one lucky winner for the wine class for 20, a total wine and more?
Let's hope I can pronounce this name correctly. And I haven't even gone to the wine tasting yet. All right, wine tasting for 20. Grassi McGillicuddy. You and 20 of your closest friends can do a socially distanced wine tasting at Total Wine.
Or wait until there's a vaccine.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. And please reach out if you have any questions or comments about today's luncheon. We're grateful that you stand with us as we work to help our children soar.